You ever have those days as a leader where you feel like you're just being pulled in a million different directions? I mean, you're trying to crush this quarter's numbers, but you're also supposed to be thinking about the 5 year plan. You're putting out fires all day, but you're also trying to build a culture that'll actually last. It's a classic struggle, right? Well, today we're going to unpack a framework that's designed to bring some serious clarity to that chaos. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Which of these really feels like you? Are you the big picture strategist, always looking at the horizon, the disciplined operator who gets things done, or are you the builder, the one who's all about the people and the culture? Just think about it for a sec. Because here's the thing, it's a trick question. You don't have to choose. In fact, the absolute best leaders, the ones we all look up to, they don't. They learn how to master and this is the important part, integrate all three of those roles. Now that is the real game changer for driving growth that actually sticks around. Okay, so let's dive right into the framework that makes this all possible. It's called the 3 worlds of leadership, and it's a super powerful way to look at your organization and figure out how to build something truly resilient by balancing these key areas. And that's it. It really just boils down to this number, 3. All the complexity, all the noise of modern leadership, we can simplify it down into 3 distinct but deeply connected worlds. So what are they? First, you've got operations. This is the world of pure execution and delivery. Next up, the business model. That's all about your strategy and how you win in the market. And finally, organization development. This is the heart and soul of your company, your people, your culture. See, a leader's real job isn't to be a rock star in just one of these, but to be the conductor of the orchestra, making sure all 3 are playing in perfect harmony. Now, to really get a handle on this, we've got to understand the unique mindset for each world. So let's take a quick tour through each one. We'll look at what it feels like to operate inside them, what's the focus, and what are the key moves you need to make. We're going to start with what I honestly believe is the true foundation of everything, organization development. And look, this isn't just a fancy word for HR. This is about the fundamental DNA of your company. We're talking about the culture, the collective mindset, the skills of your people. It's literally the soil from which all of your success is going to grow. The spirit, the whole vibe of this world is captured by a really powerful acronym, PTO. That stands for perceiving, thinking, and operating. You can kind of think of this as the collective mind of your company. How does it perceive what's happening out there? How does it think and cook up a strategy? And how does it operate to turn those thoughts into real action? Let's make this real for a second. Perceiving is all about the quality of information you're taking in. For instance, are you really listening to what frustrated customers are saying, or are you just hearing what you want to hear? Thinking, that's your strategy engine. Are you brave enough to challenge your own assumptions, or are you just running the same old plays? And operating is your execution system. Do you have the discipline to actually follow through when things get tough? So what's a leader actually do in this world? Well, you become the chief architect of the entire environment. And your actions are very tangible. You're deliberately aligning the culture with the company's values. You're modeling the exact behaviors you want everyone else to follow. And you're creating psychological safety so your team feels free to take smart risks and do their absolute best work. All right, now let's see how that strong foundation supports our second world, the business model. If organization development was the who and the why, then the business model is the what and the how. What value are you creating? Who are you creating it for? And how in the world do you deliver it and still make a profit? And the spirit here is defined by another handy acronym, PCCG. This is basically the blueprint of your value creation engine. It covers your product portfolio, your customer segments, the channels you use to reach them, and your geographic presence. It's the strategic core of the whole operation. Now, the crucial thing to get here is that this world demands an external focus. Your actions are all about constantly gathering market intelligence, building solid innovation pipelines for what's next, and totally obsessing over customer insights and who you're serving. You're not just running the business here, you're on offense, actively designing its future. And that brings us to our third and final world, operations. This, my friends, is where the rubber meets the road. All that brilliant strategy and that amazing culture, it's all just potential energy. Operations is the engine that turns it into actual speed and forward motion. Because, let's be honest, it means nothing if you can't deliver. The mindset here couldn't be simpler, and it's perfectly captured by this idea, execute to win. That's it. It's not complicated. It's all about precision, discipline, and a relentless focus on turning plans into real results day in and out. When you're living in the operations world, your focus is absolutely razor sharp. You're obsessing over things like process optimization and quality assurance. You're deep in the weeds of supply chains and using tech to automate everything you can. And you live and die by your KPIs, tracking performance like a hawk. This is the world of getting it done right, every single time. Okay, we've looked at all three worlds by themselves. But listen up, because this is the most important part of this whole thing. The magic isn't in being great at just one of these. The real, sustainable, competitive advantage comes from integrating them. This is the big aha moment. And this is where that mental agility we talked about comes into play. Just look at the different mindsets you need. In one moment, you have to be this empathetic systems thinker building up your organization. Then, in the next breath, you have to shift to being a data-driven strategist, totally focused on the market. And then you have to become a process-oriented leader who's obsessed with results. The best leaders don't just have one style. They can fluidly shift between all of them as needed. So the big question is, how do you actually make this happen? How do you do it? Let's move from the what to the how and look at a toolkit you can literally start using Monday morning. Think of it like a continuous loop. It all starts with an honest diagnosis of where you're strong and where you're weak across all three worlds. From there, you align your team around the biggest priorities. And this is crucial. You define metrics to measure what actually matters in each world, not just the financial ones. Then it's all about fostering collaboration, continuously building capability in your people, and finally embedding feedback loops so you can start the cycle all over again, but smarter this time. And remember, this isn't just about your own development. The real goal is to build this integrated mindset across your entire leadership team. And you do this with very specific tactics. For example, rotational programs force your operations guru to think about marketing. Big cross-functional projects force your brilliant strategists to deal with the messy realities of execution. You're intentionally building empathy and understanding across all three worlds. You know the saying, you get what you measure. So if you really want to be a three-world leader, you need a balanced scorecard. You can't just track revenue. You should also be tracking things like employee engagement for your organization, market share for your business model, and process efficiency for your operations. A truly healthy company shows strength across all three of these metrics. So the call to action here is crystal clear. If you want to build something that's truly great, something that lasts, you have to become a three-world leader. You have to be the ultimate integrator, the person who can perceive, think, and operate seamlessly across your organization, your business model, and your operations. So let's end right back where we started, with a question just for you. Based on everything we've just talked about, take a really honest look at your own leadership style. Which of these three worlds do you naturally gravitate towards? And, maybe more importantly, which world do you need to consciously work on next to become that balanced, integrated leader that your organization truly needs you to be?